Game Week 11, Day 4, Vault 52 Exploration. Time block, 10 a.m., 11:30 a.m. Campaign Arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift Location, Vault 52, Descent Shaft Players present, Marcus, Michael, Jonah, Bill, Nix, Jessica, Maxwell, Brennan, Darius, Matt, Flavia, Felicia, Amra, Kristen, Greta, Kristen. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, adjusts the breach glass interface, watching the projection flicker as the vault map zooms deeper into the descent shaft. Michael, Marcus, taps at his data slate with narrowed eyes as breach diagnostics glitch mid-scroll. Jonah, Bill, leans back with a smug grin. Jonah, Bill Phoenix? You okay over there? Phoenix AI, GM Stabilizer Diagnostics, temporarily unavailable. Recalibrating descent pathways. Marcus, Michael, glaring at the screen, great. Remind me to bring backup schematics next time. Kristen, Amra, rolls her eyes, spinning her breach die lazily while Flavia, Felicia, smirks across the table. Amra, Kristen were 10 minutes in, and were already breaking the vault. Nice work, Phoenix. Steve, GM, laughing, you haven't even triggered an encounter yet. Let's roll for system recovery and see how bad this gets. In-game reflection, the breach glass conduits running along the shaft pulse faintly as the squad descends. Suddenly, the stabilizer interface flickers, forcing Marcus to recalibrate mid-route. The flickering breach glass casts eerie shadows ahead, distorting the vault pathways. Marcus, Michael Ramses, rerun diagnostic sweeps on the stabilizers. I don't want this thing dropping out beneath us. Phoenix AI, Ramses acknowledged. Initiating stabilizer recalibration, but interference detected. Nix, Jessica, smiling faintly, so, what happens if we fall into the metasphere mid-descent? Jonah, Bill pretty sure we roll new characters. Encounter setup. Environmental hazard, malfunctioning stabilizer pathways threaten to drop the squad mid-descent. Primary goal, recalibrate descent systems to proceed safely. Optional, scan breach glass walls for vault signatures or caches during recalibration. Phase 1, System Recalibration, Skill Check, Engineering or Arcana, DC 15. Marcus, Engineering manages breach recalibration to stabilize the descent shaft. Darius, Arcana channels metasphere energy to reinforce breach glass pathways. Jonah/Nix, Perception scans the descent shaft for anomalies or breaches ahead. Phoenix AI, Ramses system recalibration at 40%. Descent compromised unless reinforced within 2 minutes. Player choice table. Roll, D20, outcome effect 1 to 8 system lock descent halts, secondary stabilizer needed to continue. 9 to 14 partial recovery pathway stabilizes temporarily, further recalibration required. 15 to 20 full recalibration descent pathways fully restored, stabilizer data intact. Phase 2, Riftborn flicker event, regardless of stabilizer success, Riftborn shadows ripple faintly along the breach glass walls, hinting at movement deeper below. If players investigate, subtle rift echoes manifest but avoid engagement unless provoked. Greta, Kristen, anyone else seeing that flicker? Or is Phoenix projecting ghost stories now? Marcus, Michael keep moving. If the stabilizers don't fail, the Riftborn might. Nix, Jessica, I'll keep an eye on it. Worst case, we have Jonah walk ahead and wave at them. Post-phase reflection, the shaft stabilizes, allowing the squad to continue descent. However, faint metasphere disturbances linger behind, hinting at larger anomalies below. Stabilizer data returns, but traces of interference remain. Phoenix AI, Ramses stabilizer integrity restored. Continuing scans for vault breaches below. Proceed with caution. Steve, GM good recovery. You're moving deeper, but something's definitely waiting down there. Key loot. Breach glass stabilizer node, reinforces vault pathways, prevents next environmental hazard. Encoded vault fragment, a hidden data shard reveals unstable vault expansions ahead. Key clues. Riftborn activity increases closer to the vault's metasphere core. Hidden vault pathways suggest layers beneath the known descent routes. Foreshadowing. Darius senses residual metasphere interference, signaling potential Riftborn movement deeper in the vault. Stabilizer diagnostics note faint anomalies, suggesting vault expansion may have been incomplete. Player impact. Marcus, Engineering, 17 full recalibration, stabilizer paths restored. Plus 50 XP, Greta, Arcana, 14 detected Riftborn flickers, preventing potential ambush. Plus 40 XP, Jonah, Perception, 13 scanned breachglass pathways, securing minor vault cache. Plus 35 XP, Next steps. Continue descent toward Vault Node Theta. Investigate flickering metasphere anomalies below for potential Riftborn threats. Part 2, Stabilizer Node Theta. Time block, 11:30 a.m., 1 o'clock p.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift Location, Vault 52, Stabilizer Node Theta Chamber. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, rotates the breachglass projection, displaying Node Theta's unstable readings. Jonah, Bill, sits up straighter, flipping his breach dice between his fingers. Marcus, Michael, checks his notes as Greta, Kristen, leans forward, adjusting her character sheet. Nyx, Jessica, rests her chin on her hand, watching the projection intently. Steve, GM Node Theta is flickering. Stabilizer integrity is down to 63%. Ramses detects Riftborn activity in the area. You're close enough to attempt recalibration, but you'll need to handle whatever's lurking. Phoenix AI, Ramses Riftborn specters manifesting near Node Theta. Estimated interference threshold, moderate. Shall I begin tactical mapping? Marcus, Michael, let's start. Jonah, Nyx, stay sharp. Greta, you're on detection. Jonah, Bill, I'm always sharp. Right, Nyx? Nyx, Jessica, smirking, sure. Until something jumps out and you miss. In-game reflection, the stabilizer chamber stretches ahead, lined with breachglass conduits that pulse faintly with metasphere currents. Faint shadows ripple across the walls, Riftborn specters lingering just out of reach. Node Theta's central control platform flickers with unstable energy. Marcus, Michael, I'm linking with the stabilizer now. Keep those things off me. Greta, Kristen, specters are gathering near the breachglass. We don't have long. Phoenix AI, Ramses engagement imminent. Stabilizer recalibration beginning, 3 rounds required. Encounter setup. Primary threat, Riftborn Echo Specters attempting to disrupt recalibration. Objective, protect Marcus during stabilizer recalibration, 3 rounds. Optional, investigate breachglass anomalies for potential loot mid-combat. Phase 1, Combat Initiation, Skill Check, Perception or Arcana, DC 15. Jonah/Nyx, Perception spot Riftborn specters emerging from breachglass. Greta, Arcana disrupt Riftborn formation, delaying manifestation. Marcus, Engineering begins recalibration sequence. Phoenix AI, Ramses specter proximity increasing. Tactical options available. Player choice table. Roll, D20. Outcome. Effect. 1 to 8. Spectre surge. Additional spectre manifests, targeting Marcus. 9 to 14. Stable sequence. Recalibration continues without further interference. 15 to 20. Breachglass reaction. Breachglass anomaly activates, revealing loot mid-combat. Phase 2, mid-encounter event. If players roll between 1 to 8, an additional Riftborn specter phases into the chamber, forcing combat adjustments. A roll of 9 to 14 allows Marcus to proceed without further disruptions. Rolling 15 to 20 triggers a hidden breachglass anomaly, rewarding breachglass shards or data. Greta, Kristen, 1 specter down, but I'm seeing something strange near the conduits. Should we check it or focus on Marcus? Jonah, Bill, focus on keeping Marcus breathing. We can loot later. Post-phase reflection in Node Theta stabilizes after Marcus completes recalibration. Riftborn specters dissipate into the metasphere, and the conduits pulse steadily. Phoenix AI, Ramses Node Theta recalibrated. Stabilizer integrity restored to 89%. Riftborn interference minimal. Steve, GM, good work. Node Theta's holding. Let's see how long that lasts. Key loot. Breach glass crystal, moderate, valuable crafting material recovered during recalibration. Encoded Riftborn fragment, data scrap tied to future metasphere anomaly. Key clues. Node Theta's recalibration revealed deeper interference signals, hinting at anomalies further below. Riftborn specters appear concentrated near stabilizer nodes, suggesting ongoing disturbances. Foreshadowing. Ramses detects faint anomalies near Vault 52's expansion site E3. The source remains unidentified. Player impact. Marcus, Engineering 19 recalibrated Node Theta under pressure. Plus 60 XP. Greta, Arcana 17 disrupted Riftborn Spectre formation. Plus 55 XP. Jonah, Perception 14 prevented Spectre advance. Plus 50 XP. Nyx, Perception 16 secured loot during breach glass anomaly activation. Plus 65 XP. Next steps. Investigate expansion site E3 for additional Riftborn anomalies. Secure remaining stabilizer nodes deeper within Vault 52. Part 3, Vault Conduit Nexus. Time block, 1:30 p.m., 3 o'clock p.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift Location, Vault 52, Vault Conduit Nexus. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, rotates the breach glass projection, unveiling a three-way split in the vault's corridors. Jonah, Bill, groans, stretching his arms behind his head. Marcus, Michael, studies the pathways while Greta, Kristen, taps her pen against the table. Nyx, Jessica, leans forward, tracing possible routes on the projection. Steve, GM, you've reached the Vault Conduit Nexus, a key intersection in the lower vault. Ramses is picking up energy signatures from multiple directions. One path leads further toward the core, but there's movement on the side route. Phoenix AI, Ramses Syndicate scavenger signatures detected. Passive for now. Recommend diplomatic or stealth engagement protocols. Nyx, Jessica Syndicate? Why are they always ahead of us? Jonah, Bill, because they cheat. Marcus, Michael, or they're good at tracking. Let's figure out if they're friend or foe this time. In-game reflection of the Vault Conduit Nexus sprawls ahead, breach glass conduits splitting into multiple directions. Faint shadows flicker along the walls, signs of Syndicate scavenger movements further down. The air hums lightly with metasphere activity, and distant mechanical clicks echo from the conduits. Greta, Kristen were not alone. The Syndicate's been here recently. Phoenix AI, Ramses Syndicate energy signatures remain steady. Probability of conflict, 42%. Jonah, Bill, great. Those are better odds than usual. Encounter setup. Primary threat, Syndicate scavengers potentially siphoning metasphere energy. Objective, negotiate or force Syndicate scavengers to retreat. Optional, secure vault conduits for future stabilizer efforts. Phase 1, Syndicate interaction, skill check, persuasion, intimidation, or stealth, DC 16. Marcus, persuasion negotiates safe passage or cooperation. Nyx, stealth shadow Syndicate movements for intel. Jonah, intimidation force Syndicate to abandon the vault corridor. Phoenix AI, Ramses approach tactically. Syndicate forces remain unpredictable. Player choice table. Roll D20. Outcome. Effect 1 to 6. Hostile Syndicate. Scavengers engage, triggering combat. 7 to 12. Uneasy truce. Syndicate permits passage but demands toll or loot. 13 to 20. Diplomatic success. Syndicate reveals Riftborn activity deeper within the vault. Phase 2, negotiation or combat. If players roll between 1 to 6, Syndicate scavengers open fire, triggering combat. Rolling 7 to 12 results in tense negotiations, with the Syndicate requesting a breach glass shard or minor loot. A roll of 13 to 20 leads to peaceful collaboration, providing intel on Riftborn locations deeper in the vault. Marcus, Michael, we can avoid unnecessary fights. Let's talk. Nyx, Jessica, fine, but if they try anything, I'll handle it. Post-phase reflection if players secure the Nexus, with the Syndicate either assisting or retreating. The path deeper into Vault 52 opens as stabilizer conduits flicker faintly with metasphere currents. Phoenix AI, Ramses Nexus cleared. Energy signatures reduced. Progressing to deeper vault layers. Steve, GM, good work. You've handled the Syndicate, for now. Key loot. Syndicate data cache, fragmented vault schematics revealing hidden routes. Breachglass stabilizer ring, grants plus 5% success to stabilizer calibration roll. Key clues. Syndicate scavengers are tracking Riftborn anomalies within the vault. Riftborn activity is heaviest beyond Vault Expansion Site E3. Foreshadowing. Ramses detects encrypted Syndicate transmissions deeper in Vault 52. Syndicate interest in Riftborn cores suggests larger-scale metasphere manipulation. Player impact. Marcus, Persuasion 18 negotiated passage without conflict. Plus 55 XP. Nyx, Stealth 19 shadowed Syndicate, gathering intel undetected. Plus 60 XP. Jonah, Intimidation 14 maintained a strong presence, discouraging Syndicate aggression. Plus 50 XP. Greta, Arcana 15 detected metasphere interference early, preventing energy siphoning. Plus 55 XP. Next steps. Proceed toward Vault Expansion Site E3 to investigate Riftborn disturbances. Assess Syndicate transmissions for future exploration routes. Part 4, Vault Expansion Site E3. Time block, 3:30 p.m., 5 o'clock p.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift location, Vault 52, Expansion Site E3. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, dims the breachglass projection, revealing Expansion Site E3. Jonah, Bill, narrows his eyes at the flickering pathways, tapping his dice rhythmically. Marcus, Michael, cracks his knuckles, while Nyx, Jessica, adjusts her chair and Greta, Kristen, leafs through her spell notes. Steve, GM Expansion Site E3 sits at the vault's edge. Ramses is reading metasphere ruptures here. Stabilizers are inactive and Riftborn activity is elevated. Expect resistance. Phoenix AI, Ramses unstable metasphere pockets detected. Riftborn sentinels guarding the site. Breachglass energy rising by 14%. Recommend immediate action. Nyx, Jessica, of course, there are sentinels. Nothing's easy. Jonah, Bill, easy is boring. Marcus, Michael, let's reinforce the stabilizers before this area collapses. In-game reflection Vault Expansion Site E3 hums with metasphere interference, breachglass conduits flickering erratically. Riftborn sentinels pace near inactive stabilizer nodes, their jagged forms blending into the breachglass architecture. The air vibrates with Riftborn energy, making the vault feel heavier with each step forward. Greta, Kristen, they know we're here. We need to act fast. Marcus, Michael, I'll start on the stabilizers. Keep them off me. Phoenix AI, Ramses 3 sentinels detected. Probability of stabilizer breach, 67%. Encounter setup. Primary threat, 3 Riftborn sentinels attempting to destroy stabilizer nodes. Objective, defend Marcus during stabilizer repairs, 3 rounds. Optional, secure breachglass anomalies scattered around the site. Phase 1, Sentinel Engagement, Skill Check, Arcana, Engineering, or Combat, DC 17. Marcus, Engineering begins stabilizer recalibration. Greta, Arcana attempts to weaken Sentinel defenses. Jonah/Nyx, Combat engage and draw Sentinel attention. Phoenix AI, Ramses hostiles engaging. Focus fire recommended. Player choice table. Roll, D20. Outcome. Effect. 1 to 7. Riftborn surge. Additional Sentinel appears, escalating combat. 8 to 14. Stabilizer pressure. Riftborn attempt to destabilize a node, delaying recalibration by 1 round. 15 to 20. Tactical advantage. Players secure node position, reducing Sentinel attack frequency. Phase 2, mid-encounter event. If players roll between 1 to 7, an additional Sentinel materializes, forcing combat escalation. Rolling 8 to 14 delays stabilizer recalibration, adding risk. A roll of 15 to 20 grants Marcus additional cover, speeding up repairs. Jonah, Bill, this one's tough. Marcus, any faster would be great. Marcus, Michael, I'm working on it. Hold them back. Post-phase reflection, the stabilizers hum steadily as Marcus completes the recalibration. Riftborn sentinels dissolve into metasphere currents, leaving breachglass fragments behind. Expansion Site E3 stabilizes temporarily, though metasphere ripples continue in the distance. Phoenix AI, Ramses stabilizers at 92%. Sector secure, for now. Steve, GM, solid job. Expansion Site E3 is holding, but this area will need more attention soon. Key loot. Breachglass stabilizer core enhances vault stabilizers, improving node integrity by plus 10%. Echo residue shard, residual Riftborn material, usable in crafting or metasphere analysis. Key clues. Stabilizer interference suggests a Riftborn source deeper within the vault. Expansion Site E3 may connect to uncharted vault sectors beyond current maps. Foreshadowing. Phoenix AI detects faint Riftborn movement beyond the stabilizers. The squad may face another encounter if the vault destabilizes further. Player impact. Marcus, engineering 20 recalibrated stabilizer flawlessly. Plus 70 XP. Greta, Arcana 18 weakens Sentinel defenses, ensuring faster completion. Plus 65 XP. Jonah, combat 16 distracted Sentinels, preventing damage to stabilizers. Plus 60 XP. Nyx, combat 17 landed decisive strikes, eliminating 1 Sentinel. Plus 65 XP. Next steps. Investigate vault conduits leading from Expansion Site E3. Continue Riftborn suppression efforts deeper within Vault 52. Part 5, Riftborn Depths. Time block, 6:30 p.m., 8 o'clock p.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift location, Vault 52, Lower Rift Glass Tunnels. Players present, Marcus, Michael, Jonah, Bill, Greta, Kristen, Nyx, Jessica, Maxwell, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Darius, Matt Smith, Flavia, Felicia Day. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, enhances the breach glass projection, revealing a network of faintly glowing tunnels spiraling downward. Marcus, Michael, adjusts his glasses while Jonah, Bill, absent-mindedly flips his dice. Nyx, Jessica, leans closer, scanning for hidden pathways. Greta, Kristen, reviews recent Riftborn patterns. Steve, GM, beyond Expansion Site E3, the vault dips further. Ramses is flagging movement ahead, large Riftborn presence. Expect heavier resistance. Phoenix AI, Ramses Riftborn readings increasing. Vault depths unstable. Tactical caution advised. Jonah, Bill, sounds like we're finally getting to the fun part. Marcus, Michael, define fun. In-game reflection, the lower tunnels of Vault 52 stretch endlessly ahead, breach glass walls shifting subtly as metasphere currents pulse in waves. The tunnel floor vibrates beneath the squad's steps. Riftborn echoes flicker at the edges of perception, drifting in and out of the breach glass surface. Greta, Kristen, this place feels wrong. More than usual. Phoenix AI, Ramses unstable metasphere zones detected. Riftborn entities emerging ahead. Nyx, Jessica, I see them. 3, maybe 4, sentinels guarding something. Encounter set up. Primary threat, Riftborn sentinels patrolling deeper tunnels. Objective, break through sentinel defenses and locate hidden stabilizer nodes. Optional, search breach glass walls for hidden pathways or anomalies. Phase 1, Sentinel ambush, skill check, stealth, combat, or arcana, DC 18. Jonah/Nyx, stealth attempt to bypass sentinels without engaging. Marcus, engineering locate and reinforce weak stabilizer points mid-combat. Greta, arcana weakens sentinel defenses through metasphere disruption. Phoenix AI, Ramses sentinel proximity rising. Engaging stealth protocols or initiating combat recommended. Player choice table. Roll D20. Outcome. Effect. 1 to 6. Full detection. Sentinels fully engage, triggering combat. 7 to 12. Partial stealth. Players bypass one sentinel but must face the others. 13 to 20. Complete bypass. Players avoid sentinel confrontation entirely. Phase 2, tunnel collapse. Trigger event if combat extends beyond 2 rounds. The tunnel begins destabilizing. Players must perform engineering or athletics checks, DC 17, to avoid cave-ins and stabilize pathway. Jonah, build tunnels shaking. Marcus, fix it or we're getting buried. Marcus, Michael on it. Greta, buy me some time. Greta, Kristen, no promises. Post-phase reflection, the squad breaks through sentinel defenses or successfully bypasses them, advancing deeper into the Riftborn-influenced vault. Stabilizer nodes flicker faintly, indicating continued Riftborn presence. Phoenix AI, Ramses tunnel secured. Riftborn activity remains elevated further ahead. Anomalies persisting. Steve, GM, you've cleared the tunnel, but the vault is still shifting. Expect more ahead. Key loot. Riftglass core, rare, valuable crafting component for metasphere stabilizers. Sentinel data shard, encoded Riftborn tracking patterns. Key clues. Riftborn sentinels are concentrated around lower vault nodes, suggesting hidden vault cores. A faint metasphere signature hints at a potential vault extension past recorded schematics. Foreshadowing. Phoenix AI registers unstable rift pockets near Vault 52's base. Breach glass walls may fracture if left unchecked. Player impact. Marcus, engineering 19 reinforced tunnel pathways mid-combat. Plus 75 XP. Greta, Arcana 18 disrupted sentinel defenses, reducing combat rounds. Plus 70 XP. Jonah, Stealth 17 bypassed a sentinel patrol successfully. Plus 65 XP. Nyx, Combat 16 landed critical hits during combat engagement. Plus 70 XP. Next steps. Investigate metasphere anomalies deeper in Vault 52. Reinforce lower stabilizer nodes to prevent further tunnel collapses. Intermission, breach glass and vault brew. Time block, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift Location, Simulacrum Studios, Player Lounge. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, leans back, rubbing his temples as the breach glass projection dissolves into a soft vault schematic. Jonah, Bill, spins a breach die idly, while Marcus, Michael, grabs a soda. Nyx, Jessica, flips through her phone as Greta, Kristen, and Flavia, Felicia Day, exchange quiet banter. Maxwell, Brennan Lee Mulligan, pours coffee for the table, while Darius, Matt Smith, adjusts his character sheet. Steve, GM, we're calling it for now, food's on the way. Ramses, keep an eye on vault activity while we eat. Phoenix AI, Ramses break mode activated. Metasphere fluctuations minimal, probability of breach at 3%. Jonah, Bill, that's what I like to hear. Chill time. Nyx, Jessica, until you jinx it. Don't say chill time out loud. In-game reflection, the vault lies quiet as stabilizer nodes shift to passive mode. The metasphere hum dims, leaving faint rift echoes that pulse quietly beneath the surface. The party gathers at the stabilizer's outer perimeter, reflecting on the earlier confrontation. Greta, Kristen, I didn't expect them to dig in that aggressively. They're protecting something deeper down. Marcus, Michael, good. It means we're headed the right way. Phoenix AI, Ramses Delvers, enjoy your rest. Vault integrity remains stable, for now. Probability of disturbance at 3.2%. Food order, tonight's intermission features Mediterranean platters, shawarma, hummus, spiced rice, and warm pita. Maxwell organizes the distribution, while Jonah ensures no one misses out. Breach glass dice roll off a player's roll to decide break entertainment. Player. Roll. Marcus, Michael. 14. Jonah, Bill. 19. Greta, Kristen. 16. Nix, Jessica. 12. Maxwell, Brennan. 15. Darius, Matt. 10. Flavia, Felicia. 11. Winner, Jonah, Bill. Jonah selects classic synthwave for the playlist. Ramses adjusts studio lighting to match the mood. Phoenix AI, Ramses synthwave mode engaged. Vault disturbance probability holding steady at 3.2%. Enjoy the ambience. Jonah, Bill, this is peak break time. Random event table. Roll, D20. Event. Effect. 1 to 5. Scanner flicker. Marcus breach glass scanner glitches, needing minor recalibration. 6 to 10. Metasphere pulse. A faint vault-wide metasphere fluctuation sparks mild concern. 11 to 15. Syndicate intel. A scrambled syndicate message hints at new vault section. 16 to 20. Cache signal. Ramses detects uncharted loot near the previous node. Result, roll, 14, syndicate intel. A fragmented syndicate message filters through Ramses, revealing potential hidden paths deeper in Vault 52. Greta logs the message for future reference. Greta, Kristen's syndicate's sniffing around again. I'll check this out after the break. Character updates. Marcus, Michael recalibrates stabilizer gear to improve efficiency. Nix, Jessica updates Riftborn encounter stats and adjusts loadout. Greta, Kristen channels Riftborn residue into spell components. Jonah, Bill marks syndicate paths on his vault map. Darius, Matt logs breach glass readings into his journal. Flavia, Felicia refines metasphere detection gear for anomalies. Next steps. Resume stabilizer recalibration deeper within Vault 52. Follow syndicate transmissions to potential vault anomalies. Part 6, Riftborn Echoes. Time block, 9 p.m., 10:30 p.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift location, Vault 52, Riftborn breach Nexus players present, Marcus, Michael, Jonah, Bill, Greta, Kristen, Nix, Jessica, Maxwell, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Darius, Matt Smith, Flavia, Felicia Day. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, resets the breach glass projection, casting the Riftborn Nexus across the table. Jonah, Bill, leans in, nudging his dice stack as Marcus, Michael, sips his coffee. Nix, Jessica, adjusts her character sheet, while Greta, Kristen, sketches something in the margin of her notes. Steve, GM, alright, food's out of the way. You're moving deeper into the vault. Ramses is detecting Riftborn activity clustering around stabilizer node 6. Prepare for interference. Phoenix AI, Ramses metasphere disturbance increasing. Riftborn signatures at 22% and rising. Tactical engagement likely. Marcus, Michael, time to lock it down. Jonah, take point. Jonah, Bill, grinning, if I have to. In-game reflection, the vault's breach glass walls shimmer as metasphere distortions pulse faintly through the corridor. Ahead, the Riftborn Nexus hums with unstable energy, rippling like distant heat waves. The faint outlines of Riftborn shadows phase in and out of view, drifting toward the stabilizer nodes. Greta, Kristen, they're not attacking, yet. Holding pattern, maybe? Phoenix AI, Ramses' Riftborn signatures remain passive but reactive to stabilizer manipulation. Proceed with caution. Nix, Jessica, we're not getting out of this quiet. Encounter setup. Primary threat, Riftborn echoes hovering near Node 6. Objective, secure the stabilizer and prevent Riftborn interference. Optional, investigate nearby breach glass for hidden anomalies. Phase 1, Riftborn activation, skill check, Arcana, Perception, or Engineering, DC 18. Marcus, Engineering begins stabilizer recalibration. Greta, Arcana disturbs Riftborn formation, delaying activation. Jonah/Nix, Perception tracks Riftborn movement to predict their behavior. Phoenix AI, Ramses echo patterns intensifying. Stabilizer engagement necessary. Player choice table. Roll, D20. Outcome. Effect. 1 to 8. Riftborn surge. Additional echoes manifest, escalating the encounter. 9 to 14. Controlled response. Riftborn delay their approach, giving players time to prepare. 15 to 20. Breach glass opportunity. Players discover breach glass fractures, granting loot or tactical advantage. Phase 2, Echo engagement. Trigger event. If Riftborn approach the stabilizer, players must defend Marcus during recalibration. Combat lasts 3 rounds unless disrupted by anomaly investigation. Jonah, Bill, they're closing in. How's that recalibration looking? Marcus, Michael, I need more time. Hold them off. Greta, Kristen, I'll keep them occupied. Post-phase reflection. With Node 6 stabilized, the Riftborn dissolve back into metasphere currents, leaving the Nexus dormant once more. Stabilizer conduits hum faintly, indicating temporary vault stability. Phoenix AI, Ramses Node 6 secured. Probability of further Riftborn activity, 12.5%. Continue downward at your discretion. Steve, GM, you've locked the area down, but the Riftborn aren't gone for good. Key loot. Breach glass core, rare, grants bonus to stabilizer integrity rolls. Riftborn echo fragment, residual metasphere essence, usable for arcana-based crafting. Key clues. Riftborn Nexus activity suggests further metasphere breaches below Node 6. Stabilizer interference originates deeper within Vault 52's unexplored sectors. Foreshadowing. Phoenix AI registers Riftborn disturbances past the Nexus threshold. Riftborn anomalies likely persist beyond Vault schematics. Player impact. Marcus, Engineering 19 successfully recalibrated Node 6. Plus 70 XP. Greta, Arcana 17 delayed Riftborn manifestation, aiding stabilization. Plus 65 XP. Jonah, Perception 16 detected Riftborn movement early. Plus 60 XP. Nyx, Combat 15 defended stabilizer during Riftborn engagement. Plus 65 XP. Next steps. Investigate Riftborn signals deeper within Vault 52. Reinforce stabilizer nodes at the Nexus threshold. Part 7, Vault Descent and Rift Flare. Time block, 10:30 p.m., 12 o'clock a.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift Location, Vault 52, Sublayer Access Shafts. Players present, Marcus, Michael, Jonah, Bill, Nyx, Jessica, Maxwell, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Darius, Matt Smith, Flavia, Felicia Day. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, pulls up the breach glass schematic, zooming in on sublayer access points beneath Node 6. Jonah, Bill, watches intently, bouncing his die against the table. Marcus, Michael, glances at Darius, who stretches and twirls his breach glass stylus. Nyx, Jessica, leans back, studying the vault map quietly. Maxwell, Brennan, adjusts his notes, while Flavia, Felicia, sips her coffee. Steve, GM, you're descending further into Vault 52's lower sectors. Ramses is flagging rift flare activity below. I'm not going to lie, this will probably get messy. Phoenix AI, Ramses metasphere instability detected. Rift flare pulses increasing. Vault conditions deteriorating by 11%. Proceeding is not advisable but statistically inevitable. Nyx, Jessica, statistically inevitable? You're learning sarcasm, Ramses. In-game reflection. The squad stands at the lip of a descending breach glass shaft, faint blue light radiating from below. The air feels charged, the unmistakable hum of rift flare rippling through the chamber walls. Riftborn shadows slither across the glass-like surfaces of the shaft, drifting away as the stabilizer hums louder in protest. Marcus, Michael, this place isn't holding together well. Greta usually handled metasphere stabilization. Darius, Matt Smith, cracking his knuckles, she's not here. But I can handle this. Maxwell, Brennan, nods, let's get moving before the vault collapses around us. Encounter setup. Primary threat, Rift Flare surges destabilizing lower vault pathways. Objective, reinforce stabilizers while navigating metasphere ruptures. Optional, investigate breach glass anomalies for hidden Riftborn artifacts. Phase 1, Rift Flare Descent, Skill Check, Arcana, Engineering, or Athletics, DC 19. Marcus, Engineering stabilizes descending shaft mechanisms. Darius, Arcana/Techno Warlock channels Rift energy to disrupt surging Riftborn signatures. Jonah/Nyx, Athletics maneuver through unstable breach glass platforms to scout ahead. Phoenix AI, Ramses descent protocols engaged. Rift Flare fluctuation probability increasing by 7%. Player choice table. Roll, D20. Outcome. Effect. 1 to 7. Shaft collapse. Partial shaft collapse forces rerouting and additional time. 8 to 14. Riftborn stir. Riftborn begin manifesting mid-descent, triggering combat. 15 to 20. Stable descent. Squad secures stabilizers, avoiding major Rift Flare disruption. Encounter setup. Environmental hazard, Rift Flare pulses destabilizing breach glass pathways mid-descent. Primary threat, Riftborn Echo Lurkers, X3, emerging during Rift Flare. Secondary threat, Rift Flare anomaly surge destabilizing vault structures. Objective, defend Marcus during stabilizer recalibration while preventing breach glass collapse. Special mechanics, Darius, Techno Warlock, can channel Rift Flare energy, dealing area damage but risking metasphere backlash. Encounter cards, Riftborn Echo Lurker. Health, 50. AC, 16. Speed, 30 feet, phases between breach glass surfaces. Attack, Rift Claw, 1d10 plus 4 breach energy. Special ability, Phase Step, once per round, the lurker can teleport within 30 feet through breach glass. Weakness, vulnerable to metasphere disruption, Greta's Arcana, Darius Techno Warlock abilities. Rift Flare anomaly surge. Health, 80, environmental hazard. AC, 15. Attack, Rift Pulse, AoE, 2d8 breach damage. Special ability, Flare Burst, each round, Rift Flare increases by 5%, threatening to collapse pathways unless stabilized. Phase 1, Initiative Roll, Initiative Order. Jonah, Bill 18 Jonah, Bill I better go first. Marcus looks too eager to trip over his toolbox. Nyx, Jessica 16 Nyx, Jessica I'll flank the moment something moves. Greta, Kristen 15 Greta, Kristen you know, I'm feeling that foreshadowing. Ramses sounds way too nervous. Riftborn Echo Lurker 114. Rift Flare Anomaly, 13. Darius, Matt 13 Darius, Matt let's make it flashy. I haven't cast Rift Flare Burst in a while. Marcus, Michael 12 Marcus, Michael don't mess this up, Darius. Riftborn Echo Lurker 211. Maxwell, Brennan 10 Maxwell, Brennan I'm ready. Breach Rifles charge. Flavia, Felicia 9 Flavia, Felicia if anyone lets the vault collapse, you're all cooking dinner. Riftborn Echo Lurker 3, 8. Phase 2, Round 1. Jonah, Bill 17, attack, fires breach rifle at Lurker 1, dealing 14 damage. Jonah, Bill sit down. You're blocking my line of sight. Nyx, Jessica 15, stealth/attack, backstabs Lurker 1, dealing 12 damage. Nyx, Jessica consider that your warning. Greta, Kristen 19, Arcana, channels breach glass to reinforce pathways, delaying Rift Flare surge by 1 round. Greta, Kristen I'm holding them back. But don't expect this to last forever. Riftborn Echo Lurker 112, attack, misses Marcus, phasing through breach glass. Marcus, Michael that was too close. Rift Flare Anomaly, 18, pulse surges, damaging Marcus for 10 breach energy. Marcus, Michael and there it is. Darius, Matt 20, Techno Warlock, unleashes Rift Flare surge, dealing 22 AoE damage to all lurkers and the anomaly. Darius, Matt O, I like this spell. Marcus, Michael 18, Engineering, stabilizes Node 6, reducing rift flare intensity by 30%. Marcus, Michael okay, node steady. Someone keep those lurkers busy. Riftborn Echo Lurker 214, grazes Jonah for 8 damage. Jonah, Bill I felt that. Stop laughing, Nix. Maxwell, Brennan 15, support, applies breach glass ward to Marcus, granting +2 AC. Maxwell, Brennan hold still. Marcus. Flavia, Felicia 13, attack, fires pulse pistol at Lurker 3, dealing 11 damage of Flavia, Felicia 1 less to worry about. Phase 3, Round 2, continuation as the stabilizer locks in and the remaining lurkers dissipate. A low-frequency pulse echoes through the vault. The breach glass floor shudders as the rift flare anomaly surges unnaturally, releasing a final destabilizing pulse. Greta senses a shift in the metasphere, warning Marcus just as a new set of lurkers begins to manifest along the vault's outer corridor. Phoenix AI, Ramses anomaly spike detected. Riftborn reinforcements incoming. Greta, your Arcana connection is destabilizing, adjust course immediately. Greta, Kristen I feel it too. This isn't over yet. Phase 4, Round 3. Jonah, Bill 18, attack, Jonah fires breach rifle at Lurker 3, dealing 15 damage. Jonah, Bill this thing just won't drop. Can we throw a breach glass grenade or something? Nix, Jessica 17, stealth/attack, Nix flanks Lurker 2, delivering a precise strike for 14 damage. Nix, Jessica I'm done playing with this one. Greta, Kristen 16, Arcana, Greta channels breach glass energy to collapse rift flare surge pathways, reducing future surges. Greta, Kristen I can hold them back for now. But this thing's not happy. Rift flare anomaly, 20, the anomaly erupts in a critical pulse, dealing 14 AoE damage to all players. Steve, GM oof. Everyone takes 14 breach damage as the flare spikes. Greta, your spell flickers but holds. Barely. Darius, Matt 19, Darius counters the anomaly by channeling rift energy into a pulse bomb, disrupting the anomaly, 16 damage. Darius, Matt I got this. Keep your heads down. Marcus, Michael 18, Marcus reinforces stabilizer cores, negating half of the anomaly's AoE damage. Marcus, Michael were stabilizing. Push through. Riftborn Echo Lurker 213 misses Jonah by inches as he dives behind cover. Jonah, Bill close. Too close. Maxwell, Brennan 14, Maxwell uses breach glass beam, inflicting 12 damage on Lurker 2. Maxwell, Brennan stay still, damn it. Flavia, Felicia 15, Flavia fires her pistol, hitting Lurker 3 for 10 damage of Flavia, Felicia another one down. Keep moving. Phase 5, Round 4, climactic resolution as the final Riftborn Lurker dissipates, Greta's spell stabilizes the surrounding breach glass. For a fleeting moment, silence settles over the vault. But the rift flare anomaly surges violently, tendrils of breach energy lashing outward. Greta's Arcana flares uncontrollably as she desperately tries to redirect the backlash. Phoenix AI, Ramses unstable metasphere breach detected. Greta, breach signature synchronization is failing. Greta, Kristen I've almost got it. Hold. Before the others can intervene, a blinding metasphere light engulfs Greta. Darius lunges forward, attempting to grasp her outstretched hand, but she vanishes into the breach glass rift. The vault flickers as the anomaly collapses in on itself. Darius, Matt, she's gone. Steve, GM softly, after a long pause. Alright, so Greta's pulled into the metasphere. Kristen, this is going to be wild. You'll need to roll a new character until we resolve this arc. Kristen, Greta laughing softly I love it. Don't worry about me, I'll have something ready by next session. Jonah, Bill still, damn. Greta's gone. That hit hard. Nix, Jessica yeah. That was brutal. Darius, Matt we're getting her back. Just so we're clear. Jonah, Bill 19, Jonah executes Lurker 3 with a breach glass precision shot, dispersing its form into the metasphere. Nix, Jessica 18, Nix critically strikes Lurker 2, finishing the Riftborn with a flare blade strike. Marcus, Michael 17, finalizes stabilizer recalibration, solidifying vault structural integrity. Maxwell, Brennan 14, detects remaining anomaly traces and flags them for future investigation. Flavia, Felicia 13, secures final Riftborn fragment samples for analysis. Phase 6, Round 5. Jonah, Bill 16, attack. Jonah fires at Riftborn reinforcements materializing from the rift, dealing 13 damage. Jonah, Bill, I swear these things just keep coming. Can we get a stabilizer sale going or something? Half off Riftborn repellent? Nyx, Jessica 15, athletics. Nyx scrambles to stabilize Greta's position, but the metasphere drag overwhelms her. Greta vanishes further into the rift and Nyx, Jessica, Greta, I can't hold her. Damn it. Darius, Matt 20, Darius summons a rift flare shield, absorbing incoming breach energy and preventing further structural collapse. Darius, Matt, not today. You're not tearing this place apart while I'm here. Marcus, Michael 18, engineering. Marcus redirects stabilizer power to strengthen rift containment. Marcus, Michael holding the line, barely. Darius, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Maxwell, Brennan 14, Maxwell casts breach glass tether, but it fractures as Greta's energy signature slips beyond reach of Maxwell. Brennan, no. Come on. Greta, hang on. Damn it. Flavia, Felicia 16, Flavia secures breach glass shards disturbed by the anomaly of Flavia. Felicia, I'll grab what I can. If we're losing Greta, we're not losing this vault, too. Riftborn Echo Lurker Reinforcement, 19, a Riftborn Guardian phases into the vault, striking Marcus for 12 breach damage. Marcus, Michael Ga. A little help here? Or do I have to negotiate with this thing? Phase 7, Round 6. Jonah, Bill 18, Jonah attacks the Guardian, dealing 14 damage and forcing it back. Jonah, Bill, you want Marcus? You go through me first. And spoiler alert, you won't. Nyx, Jessica 17, Nyx redirects focus, flanking the Guardian and landing a critical blow, 16 damage. Nyx, Jessica, consider that a message. You take one of ours, we'll take all of you. Darius, Matt 20, Darius casts Riftbolt, dispersing rift energy and immobilizing the Guardian for 1 round. Darius, Matt, enough games. Let's finish this. Marcus, Michael 19, Marcus repairs breach glass fractures, regaining full vault stabilizer control. Marcus, Michael holding steady. Just keep them off me a little longer. Maxwell, Brennan 15, Maxwell charges his breach rifle, preparing for a finishing blow. Maxwell, Brennan end of the line, big guy. Flavia, Felicia 14, Flavia scans the rift for Greta's signature, but the signal fades of Flavia. Felicia, she's gone. I can't get a lock. Riftborn Guardian, 13, immobilized by Darius Riftbolt. Phase 8, Round 7, Final Escalation. Jonah, Bill 20, Jonah delivers a fatal shot to the Guardian, dissolving it into breach glass fragments. Jonah, Bill, and that's that. Stay down. Nyx, Jessica 18, Nyx secures the area, ensuring no Riftborn anomalies remain. Nyx, Jessica clear. For now. Darius, Matt 19, Darius channels rift energy to seal the metasphere rift, but Greta's presence is lost beyond breach detection. Darius, Matt, quietly, we'll bring you back, Greta. Just hold on. Marcus, Michael 20, Marcus finalizes stabilizer recalibration, preventing future rift flare disturbances in this sector. Marcus, Michael stabilizer is locked. This vault will hold. Maxwell, Brennan 17, Maxwell recovers an anomaly crystal near Greta's last known location. Maxwell, Brennan, if this crystal's even a fragment of Greta's trail, it's worth everything. Flavia, Felicia 15, Flavia secures breach glass samples and salvages Riftborn core remnants. Flavia, Felicia, let's pack up and move. We've got a rescue to plan. Final outcome. Victory with loss, Rift Flare Guardian defeated, Vault Stabilizers reinforced, but Greta remains lost in the metasphere. Narrative reflection, the vault lies still, save for the faint crackle of stabilizers settling into place. The air hums softly as if the vault itself exhales in relief, yet the absence of Greta hangs heavy over the group. Marcus kneels by the last stabilizer node, his hands resting on the breach glass interface longer than necessary. Jonah shoulders his rifle in silence, avoiding eye contact. Darius stands at the rift's edge, eyes narrowed as if staring hard enough might force the metasphere to give her back. Phoenix AI, Ramses' vault integrity secured. Rift interference minimal. Probability of anomaly recurrence reduced by 92%. However, Greta's signal remains untraceable. Darius, Matt, she's not gone. Not yet. We'll find her. Outcome. Partial success. Stabilizer node 6 is fully secured, but Greta is lost to the metasphere rift. The vault pathways stabilize, but faint Riftborn disturbances linger. Loot. Breach glass core, rare amplifies vault stabilizers, granting enhanced calibration rolls. Anomaly fragment, epic crafting material with metasphere disruption properties. Riftborn lurker essence, enhances rift weapons, adding breach energy damage on attacks. XP awarded. Jonah, plus 85 XP. Nyx, plus 90 XP. Darius, plus 110 XP, MVP for anomaly disruption, but Greta's loss weighs on him. Marcus, plus 90 XP. Maxwell, plus 75 XP. Flavia, plus 75 XP. Next steps. Investigate vault sublayers for residual Riftborn signals. Track Greta's metasphere rift signature. Prepare for potential anomalies linked to Greta's disappearance. Continue to Vault 52's unexplored depths for further stabilizer recalibration missions. Post-phase reflection. After the flare subsides, the squad reaches a lower vault junction, standing before inactive breach glass conduits that hum faintly with residual metasphere energy. Stabilizers hold, but faint Riftborn echoes linger beyond sight. Phoenix AI, Ramses descent successful. Rift flare residual energy detected at 4%. Vault stabilizer integrity nominal, for now. Steve, GM, alright, you made it. The rift flare's backing off, but we both know that won't last long. Post-encounter reflection. The squad lingers at the junction, the weight of the battle heavy on their shoulders. Jonah sits against the breach glass wall, staring at the ground. Nyx fidgets with a breach glass fragment, her brow furrowed. Darius presses his palm against the conduit, eyes narrowing as if searching for Greta's signature within the metasphere. Darius, Matt, it's too quiet. Greta should be standing here complaining about breach glass heat. Marcus, Michael will get her back. We have to. Maxwell, Brennan, softly, she's out there, somewhere. The vault feels off without her. Flavia, Felicia, then let's make sure her absence isn't permanent. Phoenix AI, Ramses emotional recalibration advised. Squad cohesion at 86%. Jonah, Bill, grinning weakly, that's a passing grade. Let's move. Key loot. Breach glass memory shard, rare, contains residual Riftborn impressions. May unlock hidden vault pathways or metasphere visions. Guardian essence, unstable, grants temporary arcane enhancement but risks metasphere corruption if overused. Rift flare capacitor, stores rift energy for future stabilizer repairs or offensive capabilities. Echo residue, enhanced high purity Riftborn fragment usable in crafting advanced metasphere spells. Key clue. Vault 52's lower stabilizers are deteriorating faster than expected. Riftborn anomalies linger deeper within the breach glass tunnels. Faint metasphere disturbances hint at Greta's presence beyond breach glass layers. Foreshadowing. Greta's absence creates an unstable ripple in the vault's metasphere alignment. Darius senses faint distortions beyond normal Riftborn frequency. Reflections in breach glass shift subtly, suggesting external forces manipulating the rift pathways. Player impact. Marcus, engineering 18 reinforced descent shaft, minimizing structural collapse. Plus 70 XP. Darius, Arcana 20 countered rift flare anomaly with powerful channeling. Plus 80 XP. Jonah, Athletics 16 navigated unstable breach glass terrain. Plus 65 XP. Nyx, Stealth 17 recovered breach glass fragments linked to metasphere distortions. Plus 70 XP. Maxwell, Investigation 15 detected faint metasphere energy trails. Plus 65 XP. Flavia, Analysis 18 analyzed rift flare capacitor for stabilizer insights. Plus 75 XP. Next steps. Proceed deeper into Vault 52's lower breach glass tunnels. Investigate uncharted Riftborn signals and trace Greta's metasphere signature. Continue securing stabilizers and prevent further rift flare destabilization. Part 8, Amara's Arrival and Syndicate Threads. Time block, 12 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift location, Vault 52, Lower Rift Flare Tunnels. Players present: Marcus, Michael, Jonah, Bill, Nix, Jessica, Maxwell, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Darius, Matt Smith, Flavia, Felicia Day, Amara, Kristen. New character. Out of game, OOG Steve, GM, leans back, glancing at Kristen with a grin. Steve, GM: alright, Kristen, you're up. Amara's been tracking metasphere signatures down here for days, probably sensing Greta's rift echoes. How do you want to enter? Kristen, Amara, smiling, let's keep it subtle. She's been watching them since they crossed Node 6. I'll slip in once they start poking the vault walls. Robert, leaning over from his seat, smirking. I could have Amara shoot Jonah by accident. You know, just a little warning shot. Jonah, Bill, laughing, if you do, you're fixing his armor. In-game reflection of the vault corridor stretches into darkness ahead, faint rift glow radiating from breach glass fractures lining the walls. The squad's footsteps echo, bouncing off silent vault surfaces as tension thickens in the stale air. Darius pauses near a metasphere node, kneeling to examine the flickering breach glass surface beneath his palm. Nix, Jessica, whispering, something's moving up ahead. You see it? Jonah, Bill, lifting breach rifle, yeah. Want me to call it friendly? Or are we assuming the worst? Phoenix AI, Ramsey's biometric readings detected. Metasphere flux aligned with Riftwalker signatures. Probability of hostile engagement reduced by 82%. Marcus, Michael, raising brow, Riftwalker? Someone from Syndicate scouting ahead? Amara's introduction. A silhouette flickers briefly near a junction, disappearing into shadow. Nyx shifts, disappearing into the breach glass shadows herself, blade drawn at her side. As she nears the corner, a voice, smooth and calm, echoes softly from above. Amara, Kristen, calmly, I wouldn't. Not unless you're prepared for this whole vault to come down on us. Nyx, Jessica, freezing, identify yourself. Amara drops soundlessly from a breach glass ledge, landing in front of the group with barely a sound. Her rift cloak shimmers briefly as she steps forward, lowering the hood to reveal her syndicate insignia, modified with Riftwalker symbols. Amara, Kristen Amara Valen. Syndicate operative, well, technically Riftwalker now. I've been tailing you since Node 6. Marcus, Michael, lowering weapon, if you've been here that long, why wait to introduce yourself? Amara, Kristen, because I wanted to see if you'd survive the rift flare. Consider me impressed. Narrative setup. Amara joins the squad under the pretense of assisting with vault stabilization. However, she hints at deeper syndicate operations further down in Vault 52, suggesting Riftborn corruption seeping into the syndicate's metasphere experiments. Objectives: explore lower rift flare sectors alongside Amara. Gather intel on syndicate metasphere experiments gone awry. Locate breach glass vault nodes to trace Greta's metasphere signature. Phase 1, Exploration and Intel Gathering, Skill Check, Investigation, Stealth, or Arcana, DC 18. Amara, Stealth shadows the group effortlessly, covering blind spots. Marcus, Investigation analyzes breach glass fractures for signs of metasphere interference. Darius, Arcana channels rift flare to detect syndicate nodes further ahead. Nyx, Stealth coordinates with Amara, scouting deeper breach glass tunnels. Player choice table. Roll, D20. Outcome. Effect. 1 to 8. Syndicate sabotage. Rift flare traps trigger, slowing progress and dealing AoE breach damage. 9 to 14. Riftborn eruption. Riftborn manifest at syndicate node points, sparking combat. 15 to 20. Hidden pathway. Amara uncovers a hidden breach glass corridor, bypassing major threats. Encounter setup. Environmental hazard. Rift flare pulse destabilizing breach glass around syndicate node points. Primary threat, Riftborn Shard Reaver, Elite, 2 Riftborn Echo Lurkers. Objective, defend the stabilizer node and prevent syndicate node breach. Optional goal, extract Rift Flare crystal shards from collapsing breach glass. Encounter cards, Riftborn Shard Reaver, Elite. Health, 85. AC, 18. Speed, 30 feet. Attack, Rift Shard Strike, 1d12 plus 5 breach energy, AoE in 10-foot radius. Special ability, Shardstorm. Every 3 rounds, the Reaver explodes in a burst of rift shards, dealing 3d8 AoE damage. Weakness, vulnerable to Arcana or Techno-Warlock based attacks. Riftborn Echo Lurker, X2. Health, 45. AC, 15. Speed, 40 feet. Attack, Rift Claw, 1d10 plus 3 breach energy, phasing attack. Special ability, Phase Drift. Once per round, the Lurker can teleport 20 feet through breach glass surfaces. Weakness, disrupted by stealth or metasphere disruption abilities. Phase 1, Initiative Roll. Nyx, Jessica 19. Nyx, Jessica, I'll take the lead. Someone has to keep things quiet. Jonah, Bill 17. Jonah, Bill, I'm right behind you, hopefully not literally. Darius, Matt 16. Darius, Matt, I'll light up whatever you miss. Amara, Kristen 15. Amara, Kristen, let's make this quick. Marcus, Michael 14. Marcus, Michael, no vaults collapsing on my watch. Riftborn Shard Reaver, 13. Riftborn Lurker 112. Maxwell, Brennan 11. Maxwell, Brennan covering fire when you need it. Riftborn Lurker 210. Flavia, Felicia 9. Flavia, Felicia, let's just make sure we walk out of here in one piece. Phase 2, Round 1. Nyx, Jessica 18, Stealth/Attack, flanks Lurker 1, dealing 14 damage on Nyx, too slow. Jonah, Bill 16, Attack, fires Breach Rifle at Shard Reaver, dealing 12 damage. Jonah, this thing is heavily armored. Keep hammering it. Darius, Matt 20, Arcana, channels Rift Energy, locking the Reaver in place for 1 round. Darius, not so fast. Amara, Kristen 17, Stealth, drops behind Lurker 2, slashing for 11 damage. Amara, they're not used to being hunted. Marcus, Michael 15, Engineering, reinforces Node Stabilizer, delaying Rift Flare Pulse by 2 rounds. Marcus, holding it together, barely. Shard Reaver, Elite 13, immobilized, unable to attack this round. Jonah, yeah, you sit tight. Lurker 114, strikes Nyx, dealing 9 breach damage on Nyx, could use some cover here. Maxwell, Brennan 14, support, applies Breach Glass Barrier to Marcus, granting +2 AC. Maxwell, let's make sure you stay in one piece. Lurker 212, misses Amara as she phases away. Amara, try harder. Flavia, Felicia 15, attack, fires Pulse Pistol at Lurker 1, dealing 10 damage. Flavia, I've got your back. Phase 3, Environmental Shift, Rift Flare Pulse, 12, moderate. Rift Flare crystals begin emerging from breach glass fractures, destabilizing the battlefield. Movement through breach glass costs +10 feet. Phoenix AI, Ramsey's warning. Rift Flare destabilization detected. Terrain integrity reduced by 37%. Darius, Matt, great. Moving around's about to get harder. Jonah, we'll manage, focus up. Phase 4, Round 2, continued in next canvas. Nyx, Jessica 20. Critical strike on Lurker 1, eliminating it. Nyx, gone. Jonah, Bill 19, fires Breach Rifle at the Reaver, dealing 16 damage. Jonah, stay down. Darius, Matt 18, channels Arcana to contain Rift Flare crystals, preventing battlefield collapse. Darius, stabilizing the surge, keep them off me. Amara, Kristen 18, strikes Lurker 2, dealing 13 damage. Amara, next one's yours. Nyx. Phase 5, Round 3. Nyx, Jessica 17, strikes at the Riftborn Reaver, dealing 12 damage. Nyx, it's bleeding Rift Glass now. We're almost there. Jonah, Bill 18, aim shot at Riftborn Lurker 2 as it phases back into view, landing 15 damage. Jonah, you're not running from me twice. Darius, Matt 20, channels a Rift Flare surge, forcing the Reaver to stagger. AoE disrupts Lurker 2, dealing 10 damage to both enemies. Darius, Rift Energy's flowing my way tonight. Amara, Kristen 16, slashes Riftborn Reaver, dealing 13 damage. Amara, this thing's hanging on by threads. Marcus, Michael 15, reinforces Breach Glass beneath Stabilizer Node, preventing further collapse. Marcus, the stabilizer's holding. Just keep them off me. Shard Reaver, Elite 15, Rift Shard Strike hits Jonah and Darius for 14 damage. Jonah, could have done without that. Lurker 213, swipes at Nyx but misses. Nyx, try again. Maxwell, Brennan 14, fires Support Blast, grazing the Reaver for 7 damage. Maxwell, chipping away, one shot at a time. Flavia, Felicia 17, clean shot at Riftborn Lurker 2, finishing it at Flavia, not so slippery now. Phase 6, Final Round. Nyx, Jessica 19, plunges blade into Riftborn Reaver's core, dealing 18 critical damage. Nyx, I'm ending this. Jonah, Bill 17, follows up Nyx's attack with Breach Rifle Blast, delivering 14 damage. Jonah, team effort. Let's finish it. Darius, Mat 18, channels a rift flare bolt, unleashing 16 damage on the Reaver, shattering its outer shell. Darius, it's done. Marcus, Michael 15, final stabilizer lock engages. Rift flare crystals solidify into breach glass. Marcus, and the vault holds. Maxwell, Brennan 14, monitors breach glass integrity, ensuring no further destabilization. Maxwell, no more surprises for now. Flavia, Felicia 16, secures rift flare shards from remaining debris of Flavia. We've got salvage. Post-encounter reflection, the vault hums softly, stabilizers flickering faintly as the Riftborn energy dissipates. The squad gathers around the node, catching their breath. Darius, Matt, that could have gone worse. Nix, Jessica, yeah, but it didn't. Let's move. Amara, Kristen, not bad. I'll stick around a little longer. Marcus, Michael will need all the help we can get. Jonah, Bill, next vault, you take the first hit. Amara, oh, we'll see. Outcome. Victory, Riftborn defeated, stabilizer node secured, rift flare crystal shards extracted. Loot. Shard Reaver core, crafting component for Riftwalker weapons. Rift flare crystal, rare, enhances breach glass stabilizers. Echo residue, residual Riftborn material, useful for metasphere enhancements. Next steps. Proceed deeper into Syndicate corridors. Analyze rift flare crystals for metasphere stabilization. Prepare for potential Syndicate intervention. Post-phase reflection, the squad regroups near a stabilizer node, Amara standing at the edge of the breach glass, gazing quietly into the rift glow ahead. Amara, Kristen, this place, it's coming apart at the seams. If we don't reinforce it soon, none of us are getting out. Darius, Matt, stepping beside her, then let's keep moving. Greta's not waiting for us. Marcus, Michael, welcome to the team. Amara, looks like you're stuck with us now. End of session breakdown. Key loot. Breach glass residue, enhanced crafting material useful for stabilizers and arcane metasphere equipment. Encrypted Syndicate data shard, requires analysis, could reveal Syndicate node locations. Key clues. Syndicate Riftwalker presence is stronger in lower vaults. Amara hints that Riftborn anomalies might be tied to internal Syndicate experiments. Foreshadowing. Amara references hidden Syndicate operations that seem to intersect with Greta's last known path. Riftwalker factions may be in conflict deeper within Vault 52. Player impact. Marcus, Investigation 18 uncovered breach glass fractures indicating Syndicate tampering. Plus 75 XP. Darius, Arcana 19 detected hidden nodes in the vault walls. Plus 80 XP. Nix, Stealth 17 located alternate breach glass routes. Plus 70 XP. Amara, Stealth 19 uncovered Syndicate bypass tunnel. Plus 75 XP. Next steps. Investigate Syndicate node points and Riftwalker activity deeper in Vault 52. Decode Syndicate shards to follow Greta's trail. Prepare for deeper rift flare anomalies ahead. Part 9, Session Wrap-Up and Intel Analysis. Time block, 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m. Campaign arc, Children of the Rift, Elysium Drift location, Vault 52, Stabilizer node chamber, post-encounter, players present, Marcus, Michael Knight, Jonah, Bill, Nix, Jessica, Maxwell, Brennan, Darius, Matt, Flavia, Felicia, Amara, Kristen. Out of game, OG Steve, GM, exhales and sets his breach glass stylus down, rubbing his eyes. Kristen, Amara, adjusts her notes while Jonah, Bill, leans back, tossing his breach die in the air lazily. Steve, GM, alright, let's wrap this up. You've secured the stabilizer node, Riftborn are contained, at least for now, and Amara's officially tagging along. Nice work, everyone. Darius, Matt, stretching, you almost killed us back there. That shard storm hurt. Jonah, Bill, grinning, I told you to duck. Kristen, Amara, teasing, or teleport like me. Worked out fine. In-game reflection, the vault stabilizer hums steadily, faint breach glass light flickering across the chamber. The Riftborn residue lingers, though the danger seems momentarily suppressed. Amara kneels near the rift flare crystals, examining them closely as the rest of the squad regroups. Marcus, Michael, that wasn't easy. How long do you think this node will hold? Phoenix AI, Ramses stabilizer integrity at 76%. Barring further rift flare anomalies, the node will maintain structural cohesion for approximately 12 hours. Nix, Jessica, not long enough. We need to keep moving. Intel analysis, Marcus uploads the encrypted Syndicate data shard to his breach glass tablet. Faint lines of corrupted code flicker across the screen as Ramses begins running a decryption sequence. Phoenix AI, Ramses decryption at 42%. Partial data suggests Riftwalker activities linked to Vault 52's lower metasphere sectors. Syndicate nodes have been compromised by unknown interference. Darius, Matt Greta's trail? Phoenix AI, Ramses her metasphere signature remains faint but traceable. Probability of Greta's presence in lower sublevels has increased to 64%. Amara, Kristen, standing, that's something. She might still be ahead of us. Session reflection, player banter Jonah, Bilso, who's up for first watch? Marcus, Michael, smirking, I'll pass. I'm reinforcing the stabilizer until it locks in completely. Nyx, Jessica, I'll keep an eye out. Amara, you want to join me? Amara, Kristen, why not? Maybe the vault will surprise us again. Maxwell, Brennan, hopefully not too soon. I'd like to catch my breath. End of day ritual, OOG interaction as Steve begins gathering notes. Jonah flips through his character sheet. Jonah, Bill alright, loot time. Who's calling dibs on the crystal? Darius, Matt, grinning, I think Marcus earned that. I'm happy with my shiny rift flare bonus. Kristen, Amara, smirking, I'll take the rift glass shard. Fits the vibe. Nyx, Jessica, fine by me. I just want that stealth boost locked in. Maxwell, Brennan, jotting notes, I'll just quietly upgrade my gear. Steve, GM alright, distributing XP. Marcus, Jonah, solid work reinforcing that node and tanking those hits. Darius, Matt, I expect bonus XP for saving the field from collapsing. Steve, GM, laughing, we'll see about that. End of session breakdown, key loot. Rift Flare Crystal, refined enhances breach glass stabilizers, prevents rift anomalies for 24 hours. Encrypted Syndicate data shard, partially decrypted, contains Riftwalker activity logs and potential vault node coordinates. Echo residue, rare Riftborn material useful for metasphere crafting. Key clues. Syndicate node interference detected deeper in Vault 52. Greta's metasphere signature has partially resurfaced, indicating her potential location ahead. Riftwalker factions appear divided, creating fractures within the Syndicate structure. Foreshadowing. Amara suggests not all Riftwalkers are aligned, hinting at possible Syndicate betrayals. Stabilizer integrity holds, but the Rift Flare's lingering energy may trigger another surge soon. Player impact, XP awarded at end of day. Marcus, investigation analyzed node interference. Plus 75 XP. Darius, Arcana contained Rift Flare crystals. Plus 80 XP. Nyx, stealth eliminated Riftborn lurkers during the encounter. Plus 70 XP. Jonah, combat delivered key damage to the Riftborn Reaver. Plus 85 XP. Amara, stealth/support discovered breach glass bypass tunnel. Plus 75 XP. Flavia, analysis collected rift flare shards for crafting. Plus 70 XP. Maxwell, support reinforced breach glass barriers during stabilizer defense. Plus 70 XP. Character updates. Marcus, stabilizer engineering skill increases by +1, frequent node reinforcement. Darius, gains temporary rift flare affinity, enhancing metasphere spells for the next encounter. Nyx, +1 to stealth rolls in breach glass environments due to increased Riftborn awareness. Jonah, unlocks breach glass rifle mod from Shard Reaver core, enhances damage in Riftborn encounters. Amara, gains minor rift glass shard, amplifying stealth in Riftwalker territory. Next steps. Proceed to Vault 52's sublevels to trace Greta's signal. Finalize Syndicate shard decryption. Investigate Syndicate node interference further into the Vault's lower metasphere sectors.